Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and this is the card we're going to make today. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this one together on camera because I just kind of want to see how it all works. I did go ahead and set this up in Designspace. I found this video a while ago, and it's from Goldclex Anina. I'll put the link below in the description. But apparently she used a die by Fawn, and it's called the Rainy Day Backdrop. I don't think at the time I saved this particular card to try to recreate it later that information was available, but it is now. So if you want the die, go to Fawn and look for the Rainy Day Backdrop. If you're using your Cricut to cut this out, you can grab the free design link below, well, not below, you can grab my Facebook link below where you'll be able to go and get the design link. So this is what I've come up with. Now just for a little explanation here, let's see, I cut out 2 layers of this frame because the cardstock I used was a little thinner and I wanted it to be a little sturdier because I am going to put some foam tape behind it. So I wanted it to stand up. You don't have to do that. Just, evaluate what you're using, your cardstock, and whether or not that's necessary for you. And if you're, even without the foam tape, it probably isn't, it's probably less necessary actually. But I like the shadowy effect that the, popping it up with the foam tape will give it. So I've got 2 of these frames. Then there's a background layer, which is actually this layer here. Apparently I have that grouped together. We'll ungroup that. It's actually the same size as this layer here, but I cut it out twice because I'm using a white card base this time, and I didn't want white to show through the raindrops. I wanted a different color, so I cut that out twice. This piece is optional, or you can cut it out like this where the frame actually sets inside a little bit smaller than the background piece or the raindrop piece. So, I'm just giving you a couple options. I was playing around with it, and that's what I came up with. So let's go to the overhead, and let's start putting this together. I'm excited to see how well it works. I've gathered most of my stuff, I think, so it should be pretty smooth sailing. Knock on wood. All right. So I've got my layers here. Here's my card base. It's white. And I'm going to use this behind the raindrops just to give it a little added color, because I didn't like the way it looked with the white showing through. I probably could have just inked it, but I didn't think of that, and I'd already cut this out. Again, I've had this on my desk, so I might as well use it, right? So I'll layer it like that, and I will glue these 2 together back to back and layer them over it. So I found some thread in my mom's stuff because I didn't know where my nylon thread was, but it's white, and I don't really want to use white because it does show. So I looked a little longer and found my thinner nylon thread. So we're going to use that. So, and I've got my beads here beside me. So I'm going to start gluing stuff together. I don't know how long this will take. I apologize if it's a long one. I'd forgotten about this card. I'd seen it probably about a month ago, maybe, and shared it to my personal Facebook page so I could go back and remember it later, because it just seems like there's, all these cards I want to make, and there just isn't enough hours in the day. And I didn't want to forget this one because it really is cute. And I have all the beads. These are from my mother. She did some bead work. She knitted and crocheted, mostly crocheted. But she used to make these little beaded purses, and they really were little. I mean, they wouldn't even hold a credit card. They were so small. But they were just as cute as could be. And I've still got one somewhere. 1 or 2. Alright, so I'm gluing these back to back. I'm going to kind of try to line it up, pressing it against the base here, as well as my edges, because I do want it to be lined up nicely. I thought this cardstock was a little bit thicker than it is. It's not. It does have a nice texture on it, so I don't need to run it through a embossing folder, but you could do that if you're using something that's a little bit heavier weight. So then that will go on top of that. Okay. I'm loving it. Alright, so let's grab some beads. I'm going to put this away for now before it dries up on me. And I think I picked out the lighter beads, but they really didn't show up, so I think I'm going to go between these darker ones. Let me just put a few on there and see. I mean, clear would look like raindrops, but I want you to be able to see them. So that might be too dark. Let me pick those up, put them back, and try these, because I do love that color. Oh, that's a nice color. Okay, we're going to do that. So I'm just going to put a few of them out here for now. I should have grabbed a little bowl or something to, oh, you know what, I still can. Okay, just set those there and we'll get this out of our way. I might need a few more, but this will get us started. Okay, excuse my reach. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the lid and put them in the lid. Now when I get to the part where I'm stringing the beads, I will probably fast forward because I didn't grab a needle, and I don't think you want to watch me struggle to string seed beads onto nylon thread or fishing line. I actually have some nylon thread somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. Alright, so I'm going to grab a piece of thread here, nylon string here. Let me see here. That's probably more than long enough. Grab a pair of scissors. Let's see, how long did I make that? Not quite 10 inches, which is definitely long enough. So I'm going to put a little knot in the top here that will catch on the little slit that I've added. Now I'm not going to bead every single strand, or I don't know what you would call it. I'm doing every other one starting on the left, and I'm skipping, doing one skip, so you can see that's kind of how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start in the middle. So you've got your knot, which I doubt you can see. There it is. And you're just going to slide that right into that slit. You might have to kind of cut it yourself. Oh no, there it goes. Okay, now I do want to tape that down because I don't want it coming undone. I know my tape's here somewhere. Okay, so I'm just going to tape that off in this direction. And you can see that behind my raindrop, which I'm not thrilled about. So I'm going to trim that off a little bit. It's almost difficult to get a small enough piece of tape. There we go. That'll work. Now it's stuck to my finger. I'm trying to drop it in the trash. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now that's stuck in there. So we're going to load some beads, and when I get to the additional strands I'll just fast forward those, but can't even pick it up. And I mean, I had never seen this card style before. Apparently it's been around a while, because in her video she addresses that people do it differently. Oh no, I just dropped those all on the floor. She addressed that people do it differently, the way they string it and attach their string. So that might be something that interests you, is the way other people do it. But I liked this technique, although now that I'm realizing the tape is kind of visible if I'm not careful, the other idea might not be so bad. But this will work for now, since I'm here. Anyway, you can use as many or as few beads as you want. You do want them to be able to move, so you don't want to fill it up too much. Sorry, this is a very slow process, so let me see what I got. Oh, I think I need a few more. So there's one more. I tried making jewelry with the seed beads. I don't mind stringing them and stuff, or I do kumihimo, but I don't like the finishing where you add the findings and stuff. I'm not good at it, and so I don't really enjoy it. Alright, let's see how this looks. So she then pushes this through the teardrop, or raindrop. It's a lot of tears. And then it will go, oops, slides up and down. Oh, okay, that's cool. Alright, so let's tape that off on the back. Actually, we're going to need another knot. Or she used another knot. And you want that kind of down here close. Now, if you are not, if you're, I didn't get that close at all. If you would rather draw the raindrops, you can have the Cricut draw those for you if you like. No, it's still got it too long. That could be cute too, especially if you use like a metallic or a gel pen, glitter pen. That would be cute. So there we go. So this one doesn't want to move. There we go. I probably should have gotten it a little tighter, I guess. Alright, let's try this again then. Take this off of here. Maybe. Easier said than done. Oh, you know what? Let's try just going up under there. Okay. So, I'm going to pull that tight enough that it's not going anywhere. So it stays kind of centered but doesn't bend my paper. Okay. Alright, let me put the rest of these together and we will be, you know what, I'm not going to make you even fast forward. I'm just going to do it off camera and then I'll come back and we'll take a look at the next step. Alright, I've got everything beaded, but not before I manage to knock everything all over the floor again. Or all over the desk anyway. So now what I want to do is I want to attach this panel to this panel. And hopefully that will help lock down those nylon threads that are glued or taped to the back, as well as just help a little bit of color come through those raindrops. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get enough glue on here, but I don't want to use tape because I'm afraid I won't get it lined up properly the first time. So we're just going to have to go for it. And just do a little bit more here. Alright, let's try that. And I'm just going to line these up like so, using the top part of, or the desk, to kind of make sure that they're fairly level, or, you know, even. Where's my... Okay, got something on my card base. Alright, so then that will go on here. And they slide up and down. Isn't that something? Okay, so then I'm going to glue this, which I did not get that very straight on there. I cut this by hand because it was just kind of an afterthought. So this is why I like my Cricut, because I can't even cut straight with the guillotine cutter. I'm telling you guys. Of course, my handle came off of mine. It's one of those little Tim Holtz trimmers, and my handle popped off of it last year sometime, beginning of summer, and even though I screw it back on there, it doesn't really stay. So I see a piece of that nylon sticking out up there, and it's bugging me. So I will have to attend to that a little bit. So I'm just going to trim that off. There we go. Oh, so cute. I'll have to get some flowers out to put on it. Or, well, I mean, I have a butterfly sitting right here. It just happens to be the right color. We'll see. So I need to get my foam tape. So hold on a moment.